So here we want to look at the difference between those that have a manager mentality versus a leadership mentality, and how it can impact the growth, the success of your business. So when we're looking at managers, managers tend to be those that are more strategy oriented. They're more focused on what needs to be done today, this week. What deadlines do I need to meet? And I'm going to dole out to the team and make sure everybody knows what they need to do. And we just need to focus, put our heads down and get it done. Managers are more kind of oriented to the task. Leaders are more oriented to the people, to the team, to seeing and knowing who the strengths and the weaknesses and the benefits of their team, and know how to utilize their team to the effect of getting the job done, meeting the deadlines. Managers are more focused on just making sure the deadlines are met, even at the expense of the morale of the team. So we want to look at some of the research, and I'm going to just pull some highlights from an article that I actually wrote and the research that went into this. And they noted, SHRM noted, 84% of workers cite poor management as the primary source of unnecessary stress at work. And it also indicated that 57% of employees left a job because of management, because of their manager, right? And so this is leading to turnover. This dissatisfaction will not only impact, because this is going to ripple out. You have someone that's disgruntled. It tends to ripple out. It's going to impact your entire team and the effectiveness of you getting your product or service to market. They're showing that this dissatisfaction not only impacts the morale, but also has significant financial consequences. Gallup estimates that this turnover, often driven by poor leadership, poor management, is costing U.S. businesses $1 trillion annually. Trillion, not billion, trillion annually. So how much is your organization losing because of management? Because management leadership is not understanding the impact that you're rippling down to your employees. It says conversely that highly engaged employees are 3.4 times less likely to seek a new job. Less likely. So you're able to keep your employees. And a lot of times when you're losing employees, you're losing the best, the strongest contributors to your teams. You develop your managers, ensure that they are good leaders, and now you're able to have them ripple down, engage the employees, and now you're going to find that that turnover dramatically decreases. Your ability to produce better products and services now increases, more creativity, more buy-in. So the input that the employees have being more effective, more engaged, they're now more productive, making better quality services and products. So now you find that your numbers, your profit is now increasing because of these changes. So good leaders, as you're developing your managers to become good leaders, what does that look like? So they're going to look beyond just the numbers, and they're going in the daily task, and they're going to think strategically about the future. They're now playing the long game. They're going to ensure that they're mindful of building trust, not just focused on processes. So they're going to foster this trust and respect by understanding the team's strengths and aspirations, focusing on people as much, if not more than the process. They're going to be intentional about empowering the team, delegate responsibilities, and encourage autonomy. Give the team members opportunity to grow and take ownership for their work, not micromanaging, right? A lot of times managers may be less inclined to delegate because of a sense of insecurity, because they don't understand the benefits that can come from delegating and allowing team members to be developed. Managers must develop their emotional intelligence, be self-aware, and manage their emotions effectively. They must not be reactionary. They must show empathy by understanding the team's perspectives and needs. They must be able to hear the team out. They must be able to receive input. They must encourage that open communication, be approachable, and actively listen to that feedback. Keep a safe space for ideas and concerns to be shared. Recognize and celebrate successes. Acknowledge individuals and team achievements on a regular basis and use recognition to motivate and reinforce positive behaviors. A lot of times, because I work in both spaces, when I'm working with adolescents, they often tell me the only time my parents call my name or really want to engage in a conversation is to criticize me and tell me what I've done wrong, where I'm not measuring up. We don't get as much engagement from them when I've done something right. It seems as though it's my responsibility to do right, but then I get, kind of taken to the mat when something doesn't go well. The same carries over into the workplace. Often a job gets done, deadline gets met, and nothing more is said. But if a deadline is missed or the job doesn't get done, now we have a meeting and everybody's getting called to the mat. Just in the same way, we want to make sure that if we're engaging and we're staying kind of on task and we have milestones, then there's no reason that that deadline should not be met. We want to be able to ensure that we are encouraging the team, that they know that they are valued, that we are hearing them out, that they have input. And therefore, if something comes up, that we have an environment, a safe space, that if something comes up in that first milestone or any milestone along the way, that there's any potential that that will not be met, that we find out about it before that date comes. So they're coming to you because they feel comfortable coming to you and saying, this, that, and the other may be happening. And now we can put heads together and see, okay, how can we manage what's come up and what needs to be done in order to meet that timeline for that next deadline, right? That next milestone to be met. But if they're scared to speak to you, if they know that they're going to get pushback of judgment and any number of negative responses, they're going to wait to the very last minute, if at all. They'll just come to the meeting and then they're going to kind of have an attitude and kind of have that, well, what did you expect? Because I had this, that, and the other going on. They didn't feel comfortable coming to you. But if you have an environment where they feel comfortable and safe coming to you, now you're going to find that everybody's on the same page and people can cross and pitch in and help each other out as the need arises. But if the environment doesn't facilitate that kind of cooperation and engagement, then you're going to constantly have friction and things going on in your environment. And I'll share a personal story to end this off. I worked for an organization in New York City. And my job there was one of the first jobs I ever had as a young person. And I was an administrative assistant for AVP. I would get my job done. And then, because I was always quick at doing what I needed to do, and I was never in overload. So I would tend to go to my boss and ask for something else to do. And I saw him working on all these spreadsheets and other senior management and people coming and heard the arguments and, not so nice language that would come out sometimes. And I sat there and I went to him one day and said, what can I help you with? What was missing? So he was responsible for like all the financials. So we supported the trading floor, the foreign exchange trading floor in this bank. So he was doing budgets and variance reports and all of these things. And I asked him, show me. I said, show me. So he showed me what he was doing. And first he would let me do the variance reports. There was never a flaw, never a mistake, no yelling. So I said, show me. So then he showed me how to do the budgets. And little by little, I was able to learn. I'm being developed. He wasn't threatened or said, oh, you just have a position. You just don't know how to do this. He took me under wing and trained me till I could do all the budgets, variance reports flawlessly. But then we had another employee who was responsible for balancing the trader positions. And they were constantly opening their trading for the day with the wrong position. We can just imagine how that went. constant yelling and screaming from the senior vice presidents on the trading floor. I said to the employee who became a friend of mine, show me. So he would show me what I was doing. And then because I had a mind who was always good with numbers, and I could reconcile things and kind of spot things, I would say, well, shouldn't this be here? And shouldn't that be there? And was able to help him to the point that now the positions were going out spot on every day, to the point that the senior vice presidents came up and said, what have you changed? Because it has been all of this time that every day we just come in expecting the positions to be wrong, but now they've been flawless. If you want that kind of buy-in and cooperation, then you want to have that kind of environment that you develop. My manager developed and made me feel so comfortable in fact, and he was so pleased with me, the fact that I was able to do this, that he went out of field, that I felt so comfortable coming to him one day, and we were very close because we were in Park Avenue, close to Macy's. And I said, they have a sale at Macy's, and I really wished I could go. And I felt that comfortable with him. He said, Sandra, you can go. It was like 11 o'clock. I think the sale ended or started at 11 o'clock. He said, you can go. Don't let me see any bags when you come back, because all the other employees would have had a fit. And I had friends on other floors that I would kind of give my bags to, not saying this is an encouragement, but just saying that when we as managers and that are leaders that develop employees that feel that comfortable, now this entire department was now being acknowledged and praised for the positives. And I know that my manager got the bonus and override, which I got none of, but that was okay to me because I so enjoyed being in that workspace. I never wanted to leave that job. And the only reason that I did is because they moved that trading floor to San Francisco and the job was dissolved. But that's the kind of situation that you will have where people want to stay, they want to help, they see other things going on, and they're not going to say, well, that's not my problem, that's not my job. They're going to want, because now you have a team environment, that they're going to want to help out as much as they can. So ensure as leaders that you're developing your managers. Ensure if you're a manager that you take on the leadership mentality and develop your team to your benefit, to your team's benefit, and to your organization's benefit. Not just that we're getting better products and services quicker to market, but that we're saving that overhead cost. They say that when you lose an employee, that is anywhere from 50% to, I think, 200%, 150 to 200% of the base salary of the employee that is costing you to replace them. So how much have you lost? How much money has been wasted because of these little strategic points that we're making in these videos? If this added value to you, please do like and subscribe. It will help develop this channel. It will help other people benefit from this wisdom, and you'll be notified when the next video is uploaded.